Welcome back to a new video. So in this couple sessions, started with no foot snatches, and they went pretty well. So this day was originally going to be the kind of like end of the week where I do the block pulls and essentially just take a recovery day or a really light day. But I don't know if it was the weather, not really sure what, but I was super motivated to train like throughout the day. And when I got home, I was like, I just want to train. And originally I had the shed doors open, but it was a little bit later at night because I had to figure out something with the credit card thing. So I was kind of sitting around for a little bit and I actually saw a mosquito, which normally, not something you want to see, but I was pretty excited about seeing that because obviously it indicates, just warm weather in general. So it was very warm. It was like mid 70s, kind of like the perfect temperature, honestly. It wasn't like too warm relative to where it was, but not too warm to where it was uncomfortable. It was pretty perfect. But did these no foot snatches. So instead of 4x3 like last week, 3 sets of doubles, and the first working set is with 90. And really a lot of the second reps of the sets weren't really that good, but I was generally happy with how the first reps on the sets felt. After pushing up, after doing the 3 doubles, I missed 107 the first time, made it the second time, and really just wasn't finishing hard enough. It was the same technical error that I had with the first miss with 107, as well as the next jump that I went up to with 112. Just not fully committing or just fully finishing. And as I did the second rep of both the 107 and 112 and made them, they felt a lot better in that regard. No foots are feeling really nice. For a while when I started weightlifting, no foot snatches didn't necessarily feel bad. I think anyone that's done the movement kind of knows how they feel in general, but they always felt weird if I didn't have straps on. And now that I've been doing all the reps without straps and just using my normal grip, they feel pretty normal. I don't really notice the difference with or without straps. More, the only thing kind of is just like the tape, if it's sliding on my fingers or if I have a callus or whatever, but not like the grip or the pull or all of that. The normal stuff doesn't feel any different. The important stuff. So definitely want to keep leveraging that, because I think that's just a good thing for me to continue to be comfortable with. So I'm not over reliant on them for every variation. Obviously, if I was doing block work or hang stuff, like I'm going to use straps. Like I'm not obviously opposed to them, but if I'm doing stuff from the ground and it's possible, then I would like to do as much without it as I can. As you can kind of see some of the errors of being early and just having to walk weights out or whatever. It was really odd because I was just super motivated to like hit these weights, and they were feeling really good, and I knew like as I missed them, like I can correct this. And I don't know if that excitement is what was messing me up, or obviously it's more weight than I did last week in some of these movements, but I was able to get up to 112, and you see here did a couple of overhead squats, did 3 after made that attempt. Next week this session will probably be, honestly, like it'll be a lot of light ones, and then it'll be not necessarily like an all-out max at the end of the week, but kind of like the end of the reset. So the way that I kind of have the training cycle planned is kind of a perpetual one, but the 4th week is resetting a lot of the weights. So if I started, for instance, the no foots at 80 kilos, I would start them at 83 and do, I think next week is like 3x2s. And so it's a little bit more weight than like the week 1, but still lighter volume, as kind of like a bit of a deload slash like peaking for the end of the 4-week block, and then hopefully hit a good number with the snatch and clean jerk, and maybe even a back squat. But I'm not too worried about that. I feel like doing the biggest back squat or squat in general of the cycle in the 3rd week, and then having that last week being like the the peak of the little training block. 3 weeks isn't really that long of a time, but it's a nice little reset there. That second 110 push press there is actually a miss. It actually doesn't really look like on a video, but wasn't able to hold it out. It was just a little bit too out in front, but I was able to come back with this good energy and make it here. And then went up to 118 and then tried to do 125 and ended up missing that. But the 118 felt good, and I felt confident enough to jump up to 125, but just wasn't there. I think I had something between like 122 or 123, but not quite 125 yet. And I think I'm getting closer, and that's kind of my plan basically until I get to May, is to kind of continue this method of training and maybe change variations a little bit. But honestly, like the no foots have been feeling really good. block work I'm really enjoying, and I think it's building my strength well. I might change like the squat rep scheme around a little bit, or might move those around or adjust those. But as far as like the weightlifting, I kind of like having it where it is. I think it's in a good spot. And on days like the no foot snatch day, or I guess it's this day here, where if I feel motivated, then I can push off that rest day and start a little bit earlier without it kind of messing up the thing. And what that kind of allowed me is when I did that session, this session here with the squat, is I was able to do some extra work from the jerks, because I kind of want to stay on this same schedule just so I'm not getting all wonky or just working super far ahead of the program, and just kind of utilizing the lighter days like I am taking on a Thursday. But because I wanted to do some jerks, I wanted to make sure I got my pulls in, because I didn't do those the day before from the blocks, and decided just to do them from the floor. I guess we're going to look at me set up for this 60 kilogram muscle snatch here. We'll just leave it in. I think it's the only clip I messed up, but I did a couple muscle snatches here to get ready for some snatch pulls, just so just a fun movement to do a little bit, just up to 80, so nothing too crazy. Then did snatch pulls, 3 doubles at 140, and then was able to do some behind the neck jerks all the way up to 160. And I actually tried a PR twice, which is the first time I've tried a PR in that movement, I guess from the front or from the back, in quite a while. So definitely, feeling good in that regard, which is always a really positive thing, especially for my weakest movement with that. But the 160 felt pretty good, and I was able to take pretty big jumps to get up to that, and want to continue to do that movement, whether it's from the front or the back, of course, and to make that 140 to 153 jump more routine, and to make that 153 to 160 jump more frequently and more routine as well, so that I can push up to 165 or even more. I think that the behind the neck jerk, I think if I would have done 165, I think I could have done it. Definitely like 163 or 164. The 167 was just a bit too much, but I was also pretty happy after I hit that 160, so I didn't have that necessarily that desperation to hit 167, but obviously it would have been a lifetime PR, so really up there as far as the weight. But I was really confident about it. I felt heavy when I was setting up for it, but still really confident with it. So I also put the crash pads on top of the jerk blocks, and that actually made everything a lot more comfortable. So as long as I hit the blocks, once I spaced them out enough, then it was really nice for the actual movement. Getting the plates on and off was kind of annoying, but the actual lift being up a little bit higher was a lot more comfortable. So I want to utilize that when I'm doing jerks in general. You see that's the first miss, and then that's the second one. So the second one wasn't really that close, but had the energy, had the desire, but just didn't have the strength to do it. And as I continue this 3-week blocks, obviously I want the snatch and the clean jerk to continue to feel good and progress, whether it's with the variations or with that kind of EMOM day. But I also, instead of doing a 225 squat, push that up to 230 or 235, and then as I get closer, have that be perpetually moving up, hopefully. Not necessarily even going for a PR in a couple 3 or 4 or whatever weeks, but just trying to increase that leg strength as always, and trying to stay generally healthy as well. I'm still trying my best to gain weight. I didn't weigh myself this morning, so I'm not really sure how much I weighed, but that's going to be another thing that's just going to be beneficial in general, to just put on a couple pounds to get bulked up as much as I can before the meet, since I'm just really skinny right now. So I have that advantage where I can just eat as much as I want. Yeah, I feel like I'm in a really good spot, that as long as I continue to do these kind of like essentially a 4-week block over and over, I think I'll be set up in a good way. And then just as I get closer, be a little bit more precise about when that 4-week ends, or how I'm exactly peaking. But everything's feeling really good, so we'll see if that continues to be the case. But next week will be kind of a fun week, and really this week will be fun as well, because I'm going to push blocks pretty hard when I do those tomorrow. And then Sunday will be a fun EMOM day. And for me, I guess an EMOM is, I'm not really that strict about it, but essentially just doing 10 singles of the snatch and clean jerk. That will be a fun day as well. So maybe we hit some big numbers on those days as well. But not trying to be too hard on myself if they don't, as long as I'm just putting in the good work in general, and just trying to get a little bit better each time. But I feel like I'm in a really good spot, and I'm kind of been excited to train like almost every day, which is a really nice thing to have, really good advantage. But I think that helps taking a lot of light days or at least like in between having light days, because then that kind of keeps the fire going of me wanting to hit these weights. But with that being said, that's gonna be it for this one. If you made it to this point, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you all in the next one. Peace.